All right. So, hey everyone. Welcome back to the stream. Today we're going to be looking at Reaktor and we're going to be designing a generative patch. So, um, we're going to be using Reaktor blocks and creating a really amazing evolving ambient soundscape using just a few simple modules. And in the next few minutes, I'll show you how to build a self-playing generative patch that sounds lush and hypnotic. So let's get started. So first, we're going to open up Reaktor. Going to start off by opening that up. You're going to have three sections. One is the play section, one is the patch section, one is the build section. We're going to go to the build section, and we're going to bring in components that we need. And those components are going to be, we're going to need a note in. We're also going to need a clock divider. We're also going to need an 8-step sequencer. So once we have those basic components, we'll connect the note in to the clock divider, and then we'll route the output of the sequencer to the clock. So let's just patch it up. Sounds more confusing than it really is, but it really looks something like this. So each of them are going through the gate is going into the sequencer, and the pitch information is going into the 8-step sequencer. So they're both feeding into that 8-step sequencer. One is feeding time and rhythm, while the other is feeding pitch. So we can turn to internal clock, can start the sequencer, and then we need to connect an oscillator. So we're going to bring in an oscillator for our next thing. So go to the bento box collection and bring in an oscillator. We'll change our wave to a triangle wave. And from there we can add in a quantizer. So let's just add the quantizer first, and then the oscillator. So bring in a quantizer, and then we'll go out to the oscillator, and we'll go back up to our blocks collection, and we'll choose an amp so that we can output to our speakers. So I'm gonna connect this up, turn the volume down, and we're not getting any sound because the amp is not turned up. Let's connect the gate. So we're getting a G. So we got our quantizer working, we got our oscillator working. So now we sent the oscillator's output to an amp, and we can actually add in one more piece. We're gonna add in a filter. Can filter out the highs. And to make it more exciting, I think we're going to add in an LFO. So I'm going to modulate the actual waveform itself, and And then we can go ahead, maybe double up the oscillator. And add a mix control. And send that out to our filter. And the reason we lost the volume is because we don't have any volume turned up on our actual knob, so it cuts off the frequencies, the pitches, or the sounds. So we doubled it up. Let's put this one up an octave. Or we can go down. Detune it slightly. Couple cents. Makes it more interesting, fuller, thicker sound. Gonna name our oscillators. Oscillator 1, oscillator 2, also gonna name our, that's actually a filter, and then, yeah, that looks good. Okay, so we're not quite done with our sound yet. We're going to connect an LFO to the FM port of our oscillator as well and get some unique characteristics. Got some FM movement here in oscillator 2. We can do the same thing with oscillator 1. So I didn't like that, so I'm actually going to remove that connection. It's totally up to your preference what you like to do, but I'm going to organize my panel. Finally, we can add some effects to this, some reverb and some delay, and that will be our effective pad. So I'm going to add in some reverb and some delay, and then we can call it a day. Maybe a little distortion. Feel free to experiment with the sounds that you're creating. So I'm liking the interest that the sound is getting. So there you have it. Let's add a little reverb. Finish off our sound. So we got something that's interesting, but also rhythmically interesting. So let's turn up the volume. Adjust our volumes. Mix it a little bit. Okay, and there we have it, our finished sound. So feel free to take this and make it your own, design what you want from it, and get creative. I'm just gonna reorganize the panel a little bit. Filter should go up here. And there we have it, our finished sound. So I hope you enjoyed this stream, and we built a generative ambient patch with the Reaktor blocks in this session. You can tweak the step sequencers, adjust modulation rates, and experiment with different filters to create really endless variations with your sounds. And if you enjoyed this quick sound design session, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel for more like this, more on Reaktor sound design, and possibly in the future, more Serum. We're going to dive deep into creating sonic identities and mastering modular synthesis as we go along. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next live stream. Peace.